What's up, guys? Welcome once again to the Save Continue Newscast. My name is Ryan Robinson. With me is Tom Shelby.
Hello.
Shanae Howard.
Hi.
Every week we get together with news stories from the previous week that we wanted to share with you guys. This week we have stories from November 19th through November 25th, 2017. First up, Shanae, what's going on with Gazillion?
Disney doesn't. Sorry, let me restart that.
Okay.
Disney didn't give Gazillion license to do more Marvel stuff, so they have shut down a week before Christmas or Thanksgiving. And yeah.
Specifically talking about Marvel Heroes has shut down.
Yes, Marvel Heroes.
And interesting because the Omega version came out less than 6 months ago?
Yeah. And this thing's been on PC for
a long time.
For some time. And only fairly recently came to consoles. A lot of people there are some people who are, they're upset because, they put money into the game and now they're probably not getting it back, and, that's part of the EULA, so, I mean, that can happen. Another part of it, though, is that they're laying off, all of the staff that worked on that, and there are different people who have come out and said that, they're not getting any severance, and their PTO isn't getting paid out, and they're just really upset about it. So,
well, as far as severance and PTO and all that, I mean, they probably signed that.
Yeah.
That's something that they very likely agreed to.
Yeah.
Yeah. The news reports are saying that that it's closing down the day before Thanksgiving, but they've done since the Friday before.
Yeah. So it goes. Let's see. What do we got? Oops. What's going on with the microtransactions, Tom?
A whole lot. And I'm really tired of talking about it, but I feel like we should bring it up.
Okay.
So Hawaii, Belgium, and the UK have, over the past week, been strongly investigating microtransactions, specifically having to do with Star Wars Battlefront 2, which is funny because EA has pulled all microtransactions at this point,
for now,
at least temporarily. What do you guys think about this? The UK are done. They say it's not gambling.
Mm-hmm.
So the Belgian Prime Minister, that was actually incorrectly translated. The original statement saying that they're trying to go for all of Europe. What is happening is he wants to just basically for the country to shut down all of the things that have microtransactions while they investigate it further.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the ESRB is fucking up. They should be more on top of this, where countries aren't having to make laws that overreach to things
Well, the ESRB only has jurisdiction over the United States.
Yeah.
But you don't think they could have helped with this before?
No, that'd be more likely someone like Peggy. In the U.S., sure. In Hawaii, sure. ESRB could have had some. They could have helped to some extent. I mean, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, how China has only had console gaming for a couple of years now, yet they already have printed on the box what your odds are if you have a game with loot boxes in them.
Sure.
U.S. has nothing like that, at least not yet. I don't see much coming from this, though. I really don't. Because even if Hawaii passes something, because they're looking at only a state level.
Yeah.
A company like EA or Ubisoft or whoever for that matter, the loss of Hawaii isn't that huge,
How could you?
It's just not, and for something to happen on a national level, it's going to take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Not to mention, the ramifications of, let's say, loot boxes become legally gambling, which by the U.S. law, by our written law, by definition, it is not gambling.
Yeah, I don't think it's gambling. Because, I mean,
so laws would have to be rewritten for this to actually take place.
Because isn't gambling is basically you play money and there's a chance that you will not get anything back.
Well, yes, there is that. There's also the fact that the U.S. considers gambling to be something that could actually put or take away real-world money.
Sure.
Not something in a product, right?
Right.
So if laws change in the U.S. To reflect this, then you have to look at other things like we've talked about on the show, trading card packs or blind bags for kids or whatever,
Well, those are put down as a different type of product, who's what I'm blanking on right now. But they're considered like a different type, so they don't fall under it for that reason.
Interesting.
Yeah, they. I'll have to look into more of that later. So
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
sound more intelligent when I talk about shit.
I just don't see anything actually happening here.
Not on like a huge
I think
scale
like
anyway.
yes, that this is a good thing. I do think that publishers going forward will be wary of putting microtransactions that are this insidious into their games.
Did you see that?
You know,
Did you see that EA said that microtransactions don't affect the earnings?
No, I did not see that. And
That
it's
was
funny.
a statement, and I was like, then why put them in?
I'd like
Why
you to
put them
link.
in?
I'd like you to link that to me because it was just the week before that they showed their financial reports showing that that's where they made most of their money.
Yeah.
So if they said that a week later, I would like to see that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm tired of talking about it, but I do think like it is good that people can affect change in this way.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not completely against microtransactions, but when you make them as predatory as EA has made them in Battlefront 2, to where even with them taken out, it's affected the game itself.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks.
There also was the numbers for the UK that that Battlefront is like 50% of like the sales that like that Battlefield 1 was.
Battlefront 1.
No, Battlefield.
Oh, I see.
Comparing the EA games.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah.
What's funny is like I believe they have a 10-year license for Star Wars, and you got to wonder if Disney and Lucas are going to try to pull it at this point.
Sure. I mean, that's a lot of bad press in
Yeah.
like such a short period of time.
I don't know if like
And a lot of money.
Sure.
I don't know. There's been a lot of iffy things that have happened through Disney's past, and they haven't done shit about it. So
Maybe, I don't know. What's going on with Destiny 2?
So you guys see that someone on Reddit did some math and figured out that level progression in Destiny 2 is kind of not right.
Yeah.
So basically, I think what it is that for game modes that take shorter amounts of time, you are actually leveling slower than you should be. A lot of people are speculating that this is put in place because Destiny 2 is seen as a game as a service, right?
Yeah.
So they want you to stick around.
Sure.
If you take longer to level, you're going to stick around longer.
Right.
Bungie hasn't come forward and said that this is the case. However, they did say that they've decided that they don't like the way it's working,
It's
and
not
they're going
consistent with
to
their
they're going to
plans.
change level progression. And it's funny. It's like once somebody brings it to light, all of a sudden, oh yeah, we don't like that.
Sure.
Yeah, but
Like y'all made the game.
yeah,
So.
so that's happening.
Yeah. Ninja Theory.
Yeah, so Hellblade has sold 500,000 copies and is now turning a profit. So they've made 13 million in revenue so far, which I think is interesting. We talk all the time about the middle falling out, and they're kind of showing how it can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot of money went into making that game, and not. I mean, a lot to us, sure, but relatively speaking.
Yeah.
And it was slow to start at first, but watching it pick up momentum and gain a following is really cool.
It's not really slow to start. That's pretty good for a game like this, man.
Okay. I misspoke.
Yeah.
What's going on with Sega? I didn't hear anything about Sega.
Yeah, so Sega and MediaVision this week announced Valkyria Chronicles 4,
Oh yeah,
which I think a lot of people are excited for. This will now be the 6th game in the series, but only the 4th that we'll get here in the States.
So we got 1 and 2.
We got 1, 2, and Revolution.
3 was Japan only.
3 was Japan only, and D was Japan only.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're getting this one, and it's back to traditional Valkyria Chronicles, which I don't think a lot of people disliked Revolution because it was a change in gameplay. I think they disliked it because it was a bad game.
Sure.
But yeah, so that's exciting.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is slated to come out in China, and China has come out and made a statement that there will be changes made to the game to be consistent with China's socialist values. They didn't say what changes were going to be made. They just thought those changes were going to be made. And I'd like to see, I think that
what changes would need to be made to?
I don't know. I'm not intimately familiar with China's social value system, but I do know that if that game takes off in China, that game is pretty much set for the next 10 years.
Well, yeah, it's funny, right? Because we can't really say what changes are going to be made to this game or any game being published in China.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, China's only been allowing games, legally allowing console gaming for a couple of years now.
Sure.
So it's a bit early to say, hey, this is the norm there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, with how huge that market is, we talked about this a couple of years ago. We talked about this, talking about when they first legalized gaming there. That you can see this China will have a huge impact on the industry.
Yeah.
Just because of the amount of people that play games there and are hungry for games there.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
I actually wanted to end on a really on a nice note. So, Sinead, do you know who Tom Happ is?
No.
He's the one who
Axiom Verge.
Yeah, he's the developer of Axiom Verge.
Okay.
So basically, he's got a son who's like a lifelong condition that's like affected his motor skills, and the company that published Axiom Verge on, I believe it was I forget what platform they put it on, but basically I wanted to read this out. So Badland Games, they've published it on the Switch. Badland Games is the publisher of the game on the Switch. It said that they're donating 75% of their earnings from the game to a special fund for Hap's son.
Aw.
And he posted on a Twitter post. He's like, as you may have seen elsewhere on my blog and Twitter, I've tried to be pretty open about my son Alistair's health situation. In short, he was born healthy, but the doctors failed to treat a routine case of jaundice during a critical period when he was just days old. The result was a lifelong condition called kernicterus. I'm probably mispronouncing that. That was characterized by severe neurological damage, which robbed Alistair of much of his motor control and hearing. He also went on to explain that they offered Badland also, they offered 75% of their take on their to his healthcare, but they wanted to keep it secret because they didn't want it to look like marketing. Hap said no, they didn't want to publicize it since none of us wanted to be seen as trying to use my son's suffering as a marketing tool for the game. I hope this doesn't come off that way. I just wanted to thank them for their generosity in offering that up, since it was definitely something they didn't have to do. And I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It almost, I got a little choked up reading that. So, there is good in the industry as much as, as much as like people, like to talk about how evil this industry is, and sometimes it can be. There's a lot of good happening in it too. Anyway, that's it for the news this week, guys. If you have any stories or anything you want to pass along to us, you can email us at savecontinuepodcast@gmail.com. Also hit us up on Facebook at Save and Continue Podcast. We also have a Discord, which will be in the link.
Join the Discord.
Please.
Doing a giveaway in there this week.
Yeah.
I did.
No, you didn't.
Not really. Anyway, see you next
Never
week, guys.
good enough.